Hi, I'm Kathy,
And I'm Thom,
and we're here to share ideas about how each of us can live smart.
365.
Today, we want to talk about something that I think is on most of our minds these days, and that is soothing our anxiety during times of uncertainty. Because I think we're living in pretty uncertain times right now.
I think everybody already knows that, and so we don't have to talk about what's going on because I'm sure they're all looking at the news and what's going to happen next. And so I think, if we're honest with ourselves, we're either in two phases. What's that? Anxiety or
Panic or denial.
denial.
Panic or denial, I
Yeah.
think.
Well,
I read this week that it's kind of like we're surfing this huge wave, but none of us know how to surf. So we're all out there on the board trying to figure it out. So today we just thought it might be interesting because we find this very helpful in our life to talk about a few things that we think will be helpful in the next week or so or next month or so.
well, and anxiety is one of the big ones. So I mean, I'm fortunate to have Kathy to remind me, honey. It's like, are you okay? You feeling a little tense there, a little anxious, and so we want to share it with you, and you take away with what you can, and maybe you can share it with friends, or you can just calm yourself down. If you aren't calm already, some of you have a much more better balance or flow than others. So, but we're just here to help and give you a couple ideas and tips.
Definitely. We're not professionals, obviously. So if you are experiencing extreme anxiety, seek out a professional because these are trying times for sure. But for the rest of us, I think there's things we can do. And I think it's important to remember it's normal to feel anxious when uncertainty is happening and you don't quite know what to do or where to do it or what's happening. And it's also important to realize anxiety is not a real problem. I mean, it's important because what it does is it helps us pay attention. It's kind of like, oh, something's happening right now and I really need to pay attention about it. And that can keep us and our families safer, and that's all a good thing. It's just when anxiety ramps up into panic and you're like out of control, or puts you in denial where you're like, oh, nothing's a problem. There's no problem.
And it's
on here.
easier to see it in other people. I mean, we're all, it's like,
That's always
it's like
true.
I can tell because we were taking a little hike this morning, and I'm listening to conversations on the trail. People would stop and cluster around, and they were talking to different groups, and you could tell if I asked them, are you guys anxious? They would have told me no, but they were basically concerned about getting their flight back to Canada and this and this. But the whole conversation was not panic, but it was anxiety. But if I asked them individually, they would have been in denial about it.
Yeah.
That's just how we respond. But it's okay. I'm not here to judge. If you want to buy 10 cases of toilet paper, you go ahead and do it. But
If that helps.
I bought a case of tequila. Well, what can I say?
Oh, you did not.
Couple
Okay,
bottles.
so because although if you've been reading Smart Living for any length of time, I do occasionally like to put out lists. I kind of like to make lists. Tom's not much of a list person, but I am. So I made a list of some things I thought would be important to share this morning and today. And so I'm going to read them and then we're going to comment on them, okay? So here's a couple of them. The first are very practical. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're eating healthy. Make sure you're not over consuming alcohol, chocolate, anything, ice cream, anything. And make sure you're getting enough sleep. A sign of panic, if you want to know if you're panicked, look at your behaviors because sometimes you spin out of control and that's a sure sign.
I did notice you caught me buying that bag of potato chips.
Oh, watch the potato chips. Okay, also limit your news consumption. I think it's important to stay informed. We're not telling you to black it all out and pretend like it's not happening because I think we need to know, what's going on. But if you've watched that same news story or you're watching a news channel that keeps looping, it's time to turn it off. Start maybe tomorrow or limit your time. Somebody suggested that.
That's a good idea. Limit your time. I like that.
Definitely limit your time. Watch what you're saying to others and make sure you're not scaring them or you're not letting them scare you. Like,
Or feeding the anxiety. I mean, we get into that, one-upmanship in a way, but it's just like sometimes we're unconsciously, yeah, oh my God, oh yeah, that. So let's.
what's the saying that you either carry a little bucket of water on one shoulder
Or gasoline on the
and
other.
gasoline on the other shoulder. So when you get contact with other people, are you throwing gasoline on the flame or are you throwing water on the flame? We have that choice. Okay, then exercise, get out in nature, stay physically active. Like Tom said, we went for a walk this morning and it was probably the best thing we could do. We were still social distancing, but we were out enjoying nature. We were staying active. I think that's still important when you're anxious. Read books or watch TV shows that are uplifting, happy, or loving. Last night we rented the movie A Beautiful Neighborhood, with Tom Hanks, the Mr. Rogers movie, and it was so sweet and enduring. And how could you watch a movie like that and not feel like we're going to be okay?
Well, and I go, it's not much of a comedy, but when I got into it, it was really heartfelt. It was so I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. So anyway, it's a good movie. If you
So
don't
watch
see it.
movies like that. Norman Cousins said he registered that people were healed when they were watching comedies and laughing instead of feeling depressed. Stay away from the dystopian movies right now. I think that's best. Find ways to play and have fun and be creative. I think that's so important. Just talking about doing this vlog today kind of took our minds off all the issues that are happening and allowed us to focus on something that's important to us.
Yep.
Really important. Any other thoughts on that? Okay, and then I think it's really important to get in touch with how you're feeling. A lot of times all this anxiety and panic is happening and we're not even aware of it. So sometimes you just have to set yourself down and go, okay, Kathy, Tom, how do you feel right now? Are you feeling okay about this? Do you need to talk it out or talk about it?
And reach out to someone else and have that conversation and just say, it's just sometimes we call it talking each other down. It's like if I'm getting going, she goes, honey, this too is going to pass. Let's look at let's forward think a little bit, look at the future, we're going to be fine. Or if I'm fussing about a real estate deal or something going on about my business and stuff like that, she'll bring me back. We can do that for each other.
I think also that ties into the fact that we're so often worried about the future. Like, what's going to happen next week? What's going to happen if this happens? What's going to happen? Or, oh, I should have done that yesterday. I should have bought more toilet paper and now it's all gone. We obsess about the past and we obsess about the future. Instead, just say, right now, it's a pretty nice day. I'm sitting here with my husband making a vlog and I feel good. Right now I feel good and that's enough.
Most of our anxiety is always about the past or the future. It's
Yes.
not about right now.
Definitely.
So anyway,
Definitely.
yeah.
Okay, and that leads into the next one, which is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is, can you be in the moment, just experiencing what is happening right here and right now? I don't think I can get enough reminders to do that. It's very important practice, and I think it would be really helpful if I get anxious.
Yeah, bring it back.
Okay, start or continuing meditating. Tom and I have been meditating for a very long time together every day. Been doing it quite a few years now. If you don't know how to meditate, never done it before, there's like 1,000 videos on YouTube that will show you how to do it.
And let me just jump in here. We only go 15 minutes, but we do it together. So that way it keeps us on track. We just do it 15 minutes a day. Now there's other times we do pauses and things like that. If you just do it 5 minutes a day to start, it'll change everything. It does change your life when you do that. Just take that pause. Call it whatever you want to do it. It's just about being mindful and bringing it into the present.
Right, right. I also like affirmations. Loving kindness meditation is a really good one. If you haven't heard one, look that one up too. I can do a whole vlog on that.
Or just keep saying, this too shall pass.
Yes.
This too shall pass.
Or everything's going to be okay.
Yep.
I like that. Okay, and last but not least are two that I think are really critical right now, and that is to call others and stay connected. And the second one is to take the focus off yourself and start being concerned about other people. What that reminded me of is I've talked to a couple of people who have vacations planned. I have a vacation plan. Tom and I, like 6 months ago, started planning a vacation for May. And at this point, we have no clue whether it's going to happen. And we've already spent some money. We don't have travel insurance. But, in the big picture, yeah, we could lose some money, but in the big picture, it's so minuscule when it comes to other people on the planet. I mean, lots of people are going to be struggling through this experience.
Or stranded.
And mine is just darn my vacation, or stranded, yeah. And mine is just darn. And it's like when I think about that, when I think about all the other people who are going to be impacted by what's happening, it's like, okay, my vacation is postponed. that's not the biggest problem that's happening right now. So I think getting out of my own head and making it not about me, but about other people really, really helps. And connecting to other people.
Well, I think the connection thing is, if I can encourage anybody to do anything right now, it's just loneliness is one of the biggest diseases now on the planet, where people are really, really struggling. There's so many studies done on this about depression and being alone.
And isolation.
And yes,
Yeah.
and now's the time. Pick up the phone. There's probably family members, and there again, when you get on the phone with them, be encouraging, be therapeutic, be listening. Don't feed, like Kathy says, don't feed it with the gasoline. Say, remind them that this is going to pass, that you're there for them. I think right now what's happening is there's so many ways we can reach out to our own community, and our community needs help. Food banks are going to be stressed, they say. Kids are going to be out of school. There's a lot of kids, believe it or not, that only get the only meal they get to eat. I had no idea this was so true, that the only meal they get is the one they get in school, because they live in that much poverty. Now, maybe not in your neighborhood, but a lot of places do. So maybe there's ways we can reach out and help. So if we can do three things, it's just reach out to our own community, call some of those friends and family and stuff like that. And the last one for me is be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you do get anxious, you get upset, or you panic, whatever. Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. Definitely, I agree with all those. I'm sure there's more ideas, and actually, like we mentioned last week, and I hope we mention every week, we'd love for you in the comments below to put in there what suggestions are you using to stay more peaceful and soothed during this anxious time. I think that's important, and I let's never forget that we influence each other. That they're talking a lot about don't touch other people right now. Well, maybe we start recognizing that we're touching other people with the words and the attitude and even the energy that we bring to any situation. So maybe we can soothe each other in other ways without touching each other. Is that possible? So again, thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments for us, just about suggestions about what we could talk about in the future, or any suggestions about how we can all get through this experience better surfers, learn to surf. So thanks and until next time.
Happy smart living.
Happy smart living.
Bye.